Yo, what's up, guys? Another day, another thought. What's up? Welcome to everyone watching. We are your host, KR and RJ. KR, how are you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Interesting stuff happening all over the place. I hope you're
All over
doing
the place.
well, all over the
Yeah,
place. Yes. Also in
I'm
my
doing
life and outside in the world.
also in
How
the
are you
world. Yeah.
doing?
I'm also doing good, man. Had a very hectic week, but of course, as you said, during the hard times, I can always rely on events of the world to keep my spirits up. So, welcome, guys, to another edition of the Double Thought Show, where we discuss premium news topics touching on different angles like business, law, of course, a little bit of relationship, economy, and most important thing, we try to be as objective as possible. We try to come from with an objective perspective. And remember, guys, our goal is solely to, or at least primarily, to stimulate thought, thinking. KR, I don't know about you. It seems like sometimes people have trouble thinking. I don't know if you've experienced that as well.
Well, I've been seeing that lately. Lately, a lot of times. I don't know if it's a problem with thinking or not being able to think. Well, I don't know which one it is. If there
Yeah,
is a
well,
disconnect up here, or whether
well,
there is or if there ever was a connection. I don't know which one it is.
Well, our show is called Double Touch Show, but from what I understand, you're saying that you sometimes doubt if people even have single thoughts. As we
Yeah.
proceed, guys, we have a lot to get into in today's show, and we are focusing today on a particular couple of stories. And we want to touch back on some things we talked about in the previous shows. If you haven't watched the shows after watching this live, we encourage you to go watch those shows because then you might get a little context as well. Um, Thanks to everyone who's following the live show, and of course, everyone who's watching the rebroadcast. We truly hope you guys enjoyed this show. Uh, Remember to like the video, comment, and of course, be active and participate. Please let us know in the chat if you guys can hear us by pressing 1 or 2, just to be sure that you guys are can hear us and that to make sure that you guys don't miss anything.
Well, a bit struggle streaming.
Yeah, struggle streaming.
Is what it is. Sometimes you
It is
gotta
what it is.
go with the punches. The
You
punches are
keep
in your
on
corner,
rolling.
and you do the Ali.
Yes, we got a one. We
Okay,
got a
so they
one.
can hear us. At least
Yes,
that's the
EW.
start.
Yes, good, good. Finally, guys, before we get into it, remember to like and follow our not only our YouTube page but also our Instagram and Facebook page. For those who are following us on Instagram and Facebook, you can see that we share content there as well that differentiate from the content we share on YouTube. So please go check us out and like and follow our pages. Guys, so the topic of today, looking back at what has happened or the developments in the Kanye West story we talked about in a previous show, with amongst other things, coming out with his life, White Lives Matter shirt that caused an uproar throughout. Can we say throughout society? No, I think throughout
Internet,
certain groups, the
throughout
internet. Yeah,
internet. Let's put it
okay.
this way. People in
That's a fair
society don't
assessment.
care about it.
That's a
Anyway,
fair assessment. What has transcribed in the Ime Udoka story? For those who don't
new
know,
revealing, new
new
revealings.
revealings. Yeah, yeah,
Confirm.
and
Well, at least
also
according to the news sources, they have been confirming some stuff. So
yeah. So that's also something we want to get into, and of course net the relationship guy story that we want to get into certain developments. And I guess, guys, the purpose of this show is to try to find a silver lining. Is there a silver lining? Can we learn something? Is there hope for humanity? Or perhaps is the expectations that we have on humanity too high? Do we project perhaps certain ideas of people and others, certain ideals that we want to believe in? We'll get into that. Before we proceed, remember, guys, this is the disclaimer. Because the last thing that we want is for you guys to come after us because you followed our opinions and forgot that it's about that we're talking about thoughts and not facts. That our thoughts are based on facts. We are not financial nor life advisors. We are here solely to entertain you. We're also here to have a discourse. As we can see, I'm gonna try to do something about this connection of mine. But in
Yes, please.
anything we have KR to help carry the show. I'm gonna be Robert Horry, man. You have to carry the show, probably. Remember, guys. Finally, for final thing for personal advice, we urge you to seek out advice from professionals in the fields that you wish to have uh, advice on. Right? So we're talking about Kanye. I'm gonna start with Kanye, but perhaps KR,
I'm back.
I'm gonna do
Struggle
some
streaming, man. This
struggle
is
streaming. Yeah.
this is not going really well.
Yeah. Well, KR, I suggest you. I think I can solve this internet problem. I suggest you maybe give the viewers just a recap of the previous shows
Yeah, no
while
problem.
I try to fix the
No
connection problem.
problem. So, guys, let me share my screen. We have had a couple of shows so far talking about different topics. We started off with our first show. Let me go back to the main. Started off with our first show about Bad and Beyond, talking about the pump and dump case. We dove in a bit deeper into the allegations towards the CFO of the company. We discussed the roots, possible roots to what happened, what pump and dump actually is, and the pros and cons. So during that time, there were during the pump and dump, there were some winners and also losers, and um, one of them was the CFO himself, um, who decided to delete his life after after pressure might have amounted. In the second show, we talked about Black Lives Matters, about the case of the infighting within the organization, not the movement itself, but more the organization, the people behind the organization. There's some infighting going on. We will also highlight some stuff from that show during this show because there are some things that are tied to Kanye West, the Kanye West White Lives Matter shirt, and also some things happening based on information that has come out lately relating to the funds. Then we follow that broadcast with the Trump and Kanye lawsuits. Talked about the lawsuits between Kanye and the Adidas brand and the Gap brand. Kanye decided to basically end the partnerships between both companies and him or his Yeezy brand, and then they also send him a letter prohibiting him from participating in fashion with his brand, and he's currently in a legal battle with those two companies. We also talked about the lawsuits of Trump and how that would, all these lawsuits would influence his upcoming campaign for the 2024 election. During that, we also said that probably Kanye wouldn't run, but the interview of last week or in the past week, which he had with Tucker Carlson, he revealed that he is looking forward towards actually running. So he's looking forward. He thinks he has a chance, and we might dive deeper into that today as well. Maybe not, depending on the situation. Um, and we will also talk about that interview we had with Tucker Carlson, because it was a very interesting interview, um, showing also a certain side of Kanye that was interesting to see, how he talks, expresses his ideas, his thoughts in a very well mannered and well thought up way. One thing I've noticed, but we can discuss that. We're gonna discuss it later. What I thought about that interview. Uh, yeah. Last week we talked about Udoka and Boston Celtics head coach Udoka, and um, we were trying to talk about Ned Fulmer. Now that was a joke from the Try Guys. No, we were talking about basically, is it worth it to discuss or to risk it all for your coworker? Is she the one? We talked about statistics. What are the chances that she's really the one? RJ tried to set me up.
I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job. Set up. If it's a lose, I mean, I didn't stand a chance. So
Yeah.
and yeah, basically what we're going to do today, we call it the record scratch show. Basically, we stop the record and spin it back and see what's the latest updates, and that's what we're going to do today. I see RG is back, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
go.
I have. Yeah, we had a storm, and that has
Mm,
apparently affected the connection. So, well,
okay,
let's see. Let's see how this goes.
it's clearly affecting the connection.
Yeah, let me know if it's still. Well, we'll find out.
Well, it's not locking up, but I'm seeing you very vaguely. But well, as long as I can hear you, that's important. And now I don't seem to hear you.
Yeah.
Are you there? I guess not. So let's. Oh, this looks much better than a
Yeah.
couple of seconds ago. So
Okay. Let's not
good.
jinx it. Yeah. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Okay. Where we were, I was basically closing down the recap of the previous show, and I was going towards the disclaimer. So I think before your internet was showing its bad sides, you were basically going to start with a disclaimer, but hey, sometimes
Well,
this is part of streaming,
as a live
live
streaming, yeah, yeah.
streaming.
And for your information, um, from my part, I can tell you that I finished the disclaimer as well, but I'm gonna do it
I
once
didn't
more.
hear anything, to be honest. So
Yeah.
let's
So
disclaim again,
okay,
because
let's do this.
if we get sued, it's you who's going
I'm,
you're gonna
and,
catch
and
everything. I'm
and I
gonna
can't
pull out.
and I can't sue
Pause.
the I can't, and I can't sue the internet company.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, the disclaimer in short, we are here to entertain you. The content of the show is purely to entertainment purposes only. If you require information regarding your finances, regarding your relationship, regarding your investments, anything that has to do with yeah, something that you desire that's not entertainment, we of course advise you to seek personal advice from professionals in that field. Yes, man. So,
Yeah, so let's you're basically done with a disclaimer, and we can go right away to the random thought of the day.
yes, my random thought of
Let's
the day.
what has been your random thought of the day, RJ? Tell me.
My random thought of the day has to do with parenthood and ungrateful kids.
Hmm.
There's a story out about, you probably heard about it, about Marquise Jackson,
Ah,
son of son of Curtis Jackson, also known as by his rap name 50 Cent.
you knew it.
And Marquise Jackson went viral, a video of him went viral when he said that his father was ungrateful because he only paid monthly child support of 6,500 US dollars per month. And according to him, that was that was barely enough to survive. So he barely made it, guys. Now,
Him and his mom.
him, no, well, actually, child support is supposed to be for the kid, right? Not for the mom.
And I do agree with you, but I'm
Okay.
talking about his reasoning.
Yeah. Okay.
They barely made it. They.
Well. So if we go and look at the median income in the United States, it's about it's between 40 and 50,000 US dollars per month, per year. Apologies. This child who is now 26 years of age was
I, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I could. Sorry. I'm sorry. I will
was
interrupt you.
receiving child support of to the amount of 80 plus thousand US dollars per year. So a child was receiving child support for approximately 30 to 35 dollars higher than the than the
35K.
average.
Did you say?
I say thousand, I think, right? Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it's a thousand. Yeah.
Okay. I missed it. Sorry.
Per year, higher than the average American earns by working
Taxpayers.
in a year. Taxpayers. To me, I mean, if that's not ungrateful, I don't know what is. And we should also remember, because you made a point, KR, or you made a remark. I don't know. I know it's not your remark. It's what he's saying. I want to just remind everyone that child support is to pay the child. There's something called alimony for if you want to pay, let's say, the ex-wife or the ex-husband in case the wife is earning more than the husband. But child support, and this, to see this man in an interview, I mean, it's not a secret that he had a bad relationship with his father for the last couple of, let's say, years, I'd say. It's been on and off. But to hear a 26-year-old man, because it's not a child anymore, it's a man.
Wow.
It might be 25 because I think his birthday is coming.
It's not about his age.
I know, man.
You're trying to go to age. I'm not gonna do.
We're trying to be objective.
Not every male is a man.
We're trying to be objective, so that's why I'm trying to.
No subjectivity on this side.
Although there's not a difference. There shouldn't be a difference between 25 and 26, but to see a 25 or 26-year-old, that means he's been an adult for 8 years now. Whining about something like that it's disappointing. And it's a testament that for everyone who is currently contemplating on having kids, you should always remember and always keep in mind that sometimes, no, I'll take one step back. They will never be the person that you think that they will be, and you should never want them to be you. You should always remember that they are unique individuals. However, they might turn out to be just like the parent you despise. So that's my thought of the day, KaiR.
I could rant about this, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
It's a topic for this can be a show on itself.
This might have to become a show on itself because the things he was talking about, if you break it down, maybe we should, guys, if you think we should make a show about this, breaking down the whole mindset he has about his dad, how they ended up at this place right now, a 26-year-old man, basically blaming his dad and not coming up for himself. Put a 1 in the chat, please. If you want to want us to discuss this in the next show, because this is a very poor mindset for a man of his age,
a boy of his age.
So good. Thank you for your thought of the day.
Yes,
RJ. Let's continue right away to the main topics. We're going to discuss. We're gonna really start up with Kanye today. Kanye. Last time around, we talked about Kanye. We basically discussed a couple of things about Kanye relating to his his feud with Adidas and Gap, and we basically broke down. If you want to check the clips, there's a clip on that. We broke down his feud with his lawsuits with Gap. And we also have another clip discussing, analyzing actually the dispute and also the consequence of the dispute. Kanye. So after that, a lot of things happened this past week. Kanye had, following a, let's call it a media stunt, a PR stunt, we want to look at it. Adidas said a statement. They had a statement basically saying the partnership with Kanye West or Yeezy is under review. What has led to this situation? As you can see down there, he had his White Lives Matter t-shirt, which he basically was flaunting during the French Fashion Week. There are levels to this French Fashion Week dilemma he created. I think this is basically the shirt which he wore, also in line with the Black Lives Matter branding.
Yeah.
So
The same
it's
font, more or less.
yeah, more or less the same font, and where both the black white and the white black shirt. So he's a
It's spiritual. It's a yin yang thing.
yin yang thing. It's a zebra thing. How you want to look at it? He plans to sell them. Well, apparently he said wants to sell them, but it was the debut of the shirt. And basically after that Fashion Week show presence, he went to LA and did an interview with Tucker Carlson. Almost got his name the other way, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker
And
Carlson.
yeah, from Fox News. It's a short clip of them. He talked about different stuff. He talked about the shirt itself. He talked about a lot of it's a lot of topics he talked about, and he had a couple of interesting points
Points,
during that
definitely.
interview. Talked
Definitely.
about obesity being promoted towards black people. He talked about his son already showing some rebellion towards him. He talked about the things they are developing at Donda or whatever his company is called, because I'm right now I'm basically lost. Back in the days, Donda was a development company. Now it's a school, and I don't know if he's developing all the new things under Yeezy. For me, it's a bit not clear at this moment, but they are developing a lot of stuff: boots,
Yeah.
drinks, um, biological farming, and all those things. And he talked about a variety of things, and also, of course, which you could see here, about the shirt. And what he said was that the concept sparked by a feeling, a gut instinct, which he thought. We know that Kanye doesn't work with gut. He works always, well, he works with a gut, but there's always a thought behind it. He knows how to spark controversy,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, definitely.
And what happened is after he released the shirt, or the pictures were shown on the internet, people went into a uproar, and he got critics from all over the internet talking about him being, let's say, very insensitive, tone deaf by some other celebrities, discussing, basically saying stuff like he's not aligning himself with the
the cause.
the cause, the good guys.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
already talked about whether the good guys are really structured correctly in the previous show.
Yeah. Well, the yeah.
Well, the what they call the good guys.
Yeah. So yeah, we made a distinction uh, in
We,
the show we did about the BLM movement, that in which we basically explained that you have the Black Lives Matter movement and you have like the Black Lives Matter organization. And I think that if you tell anyone actually, that the Black Lives Matter movement, let's say, to respect Black lives, um, whether or not if that's a good movement or not, I think you will have less people saying they don't agree that Black lives matter or that they should matter. But with regards to the Black lives organizations, plural, which is a chaos, which is has been known to or have been known to make questionable purchases and make money disappear and cause problems
allegedly.
allegedly. Allegedly. And well, it's allegedly, but at the same time, some major brands such as Fubu distant themselves from the Black Lives Matter organizations for that purpose because
Really?
yeah, because
Fubu, for us, by us.
yeah, now they're like for us by us. You
We're
guys
not
need
with
to
you.
figure
You're
it out.
not
Yeah,
us.
yeah. So
Okay.
so with that, and we talked about it, and in a sense, Kanye, one of the things that he said was that he believed that he called him a fraud, I think, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he called Black Lives Matter a scam.
A scam, yeah.
I think
And if you look at the allegations pertaining to the Black Lives Matter organizations, you can find good reasons to reach the same conclusion that is a scam, or that there are organizations or the affiliated organizations that are scamming people, purchasing big houses and make not inserting filing
let's
their
not call it
taxes,
scamming. They are making questionable purchases.
alleged scamming, questionable purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it's good that it's a double thought, because one thought might get might get us in trouble.
The statements said by RJ are not.
No, but I mean it's not. I mean, they say where there's smoke, there's fire, and well, what we can conclude is that there isn't unity within the movement itself.
What we can conclude, I do agree with you. Where there is smoke, there is fire, and their house is on fire right now.
Fire. All of them, the mansions are. But in a
They are.
sense,
Yeah.
so in a sense, Kanye, and this is also a disclaimer because we have to stay objective as well. Kanye is a musical genius. He's a marketing genius as well.
Yes.
Safe to say, he knows exactly what to do and what to say to get people talking about him, and he does it time and time again. I don't think we should look at Kanye as I don't know what you think, KR, but I don't think we should look at Kanye as a political leader at all. But I've realized in the current times we seem to dismiss people. without actually trying to understand them. And when listening to what Kanye said, and you mentioned a couple of, I'm gonna let you finish all the other things he said. You do see that he's not crazy like people try to make him out to be. But he's not your political leader either. Is he?
He's not my political leader, but he could be some people's political leader.
He could be. He could be.
So this was his statement he made regarding the Black Lives Matter. Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome. So he basically was trying to put a nail in the coffin of the Black Lives Matter. There are some things you can say about Black Lives Matter itself. We discussed that, of course, in the previous show already. Like you said, there are, or like I corrected you, or alleged, there are some things you could question. One thing you can not question is that the movement is very
disorganized,
to say the least.
to say the least.
To say the least. They also are very, they say a lot of very contradicting stuff.
Yeah.
Both the movement and the organization. So
yeah,
I think this is what Kanye tries to talk about here. But yeah, let's continue with the consequences. So this has led to a lot of uproar. Kanye said, of course, it's a scam with his White Lives Matter shirt. But he has received some backing. He has received some backing from, let's call him a black academic, as it's mentioned here. He's supported by African Americans, of African American communities across America after he publicly condemned BLM. He's not the only one. I know a couple of people that don't align themselves, a lot of people actually, that don't align themselves with the movement because they also see not only the pros or the alleged pros, but there are a lot of cons as well. Well, cons, that's a double entendre.
That's a double entendre, yeah.
Anyway, so this guy was basically saying, his name is Tatishe Nteta. He was backing.
What's his last name?
Nteta.
I
Not Ntiti.
Okay.
It's gonna be a throwaway joke. Anyway, but there were also others that were slightly backing him. Other celebrities condemning him for his remarks. Gigi Hadid, which he fired back. There were some people from the fashion industry which said that he was basically promoting violence, and he clapped back as well. You know, it's better. Sometimes it's better if you're well known not to say anything, because in this case, when you say something against Kanye, chances are he might clap back. He might even post your text messages.
Yeah.
That's something he does on a frequent. Well, we can dive that into deeper. He also gave props to Daily Mail.
Seriously.
Seriously, this is how we did. Wait a second, it's here. Daily Mail. Well, he wrote it differently, but I think you can pronounce it the same way.
Yeah.
Daily Mail has been really fair and positive. God is good. I'm used to attacks from Hollywood actors, so to get support from for standing my ground is amazing. We broke the mind control. it's hard to read it sometimes. It's like reading
He
a
speaks
Meek
different,
Mill.
man. Yeah.
It's like reading a Meek Mill tweet. Punctuation, no, yo. I know when to stop reading or when to pause. Nobody is trauma drunk no more. Oh man, God is fighting this battle for us. Well, I think I made it. I made it. Um, there were also other celebrities, Diddy, who backed them during the Adidas feud. He said, "We're not gonna buy Adidas anymore." And now he said that he is stone deaf, but at the same time that he's a free thinker. He's talking both ways.
Yeah, it's double thoughts.
Double thoughts. And I cannot say he's wrong, but Diddy is also aware of the cancel culture, so he's gonna do what he has to do to not get canceled. Even though he might agree or might disagree, he's still a businessman. Another person who has aligned himself with Kanye was the granddaughter of Bob Marley, also the daughter of, if I'm not mistaken, oh, I forgot, Lauren Hill. Yes, Lauren Hill.
Okay. Lauren Hill.
And one of the Bob Marley sons. I don't know. I think is I don't not clear which one of them it is, but it's Lauren Hill's daughter. So basically, she was also criticized for wearing this shirt, as you can see here. Everyone was trying to get along with the billionaire Kanye. I mean, you can align yourself, take a picture with a guy. But she was also criticized, and she basically responded with the following: the past 24 hours has allowed me to realize that most of y'all are stuck in a hive mentality. You do what a group tells you to do and think what the group tells you to think. Witnessing someone break free from the agenda sends you all into such a panic that you will do whatever it takes to force them back in the box that you feel they should exist in. Does she have a point with that?
I don't know if he. I don't know if she has a point with this particular. In this particular instance, I think she does to a certain extent. But I think she speaks to something bigger, and Kanye speaks to it as well. And
Yes.
we seem to, and that is that we seem to be living in a time where if you say something that the other person doesn't like, that person will try to cancel you instead of understand you. Like they will, and I think Dave Chappelle said it, that the worst thing that you can do to a person is to dismiss him. To just say, no, he's crazy, he's cuckoo. Because if you try to understand, you might not agree with where he's coming from, but at least it can help you become, let's say it can help your rhetoric skills, help you to think things through better, help you to see a different perspective. Because if you're not open to different perspectives, then yeah,
You won't have double thoughts.
you won't have double thoughts. You won't even have single thoughts.
There is
You
no
will just
interact.
be recording, you replaying or repeating something that someone else said, thinking like someone else said that you should think.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be able to read this and not necessarily having to agree with what he's saying or what they're saying, but at least try to understand. Because if you have watched our previous show about Black Lives Matter, then you would have seen that there are certain things that they're mentioning that is true. I'm not saying the whole movement is a scam. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying the whole movement need to be um, doesn't need to be or at least needs to be banished. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that there are parts that they have at least the characteristics of a scam. And to say, but that's the thing with, especially with the Black Lives Matter thing, that when you say Black Lives Matter, let's say when you go against that, against the movement or especially the organization, because they will say you're against Black Lives Matter, it might appear, or people might think that you're against Black people or that you're a racist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more complicated. It's more complex than that.
I think there is no interchanging of thoughts, and that's very important in order to develop yourself and understanding, getting a better understanding of the world, of topics. You have to be able to interchange thoughts, even with thoughts you don't agree with. You have to be able to take it, assess it, analyze it, break it down, put it back together, break it down again, see what's wrong with it, and then basically form your opinion based on that.
Yeah.
But if by decree, or how you want to call it, you already, like you said, you already choose to ignore someone's opinion, you won't be able to develop. You're in an echo chamber, and that's not very good for your personal development and understanding of others. At the end of the day, you cannot live in an echo chamber the rest of your life. Otherwise, you will find yourself in a situation where you will get triggered when someone has a totally different idea of how the world should work. But let's continue with the story she posted. All morale, I think we addressed this a couple of minutes ago. All morale and empathy is eliminated due to the fact that you feel justified by your emotions. The victims become victimizers. You cannot bully me, manipulate me, or coax me into silence, nor will you bully me into being what you want me to be. This sounds directly from as if Kanye was ghostwriting this one. I don't care how many tweets you make, DMs you send, or articles you write. Throughout all chaos, I have yet to speak on my experience. If you know me, you know that nothing I do is without deep thought and intentions. Wait till you hear what I have to say.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm. Sella Marley.
Well, I think her stance is pretty clear.
Yes.
No room for misinterpretation.
What else happened? We had people asking their money back.
You don't say,
Sharon
man.
Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne. Apparently, they gave 900K to
Mm.
BLM.
Mm-hmm.
900K. I want my money back. I want my refund. I don't know if I can use the word these days, but I think there is a word for this.
I think there
I
is
think
one
when you
too.
give someone a gift and you ask it back, there's a word for this. They call it, and maybe we
Sounds
can bleep this out, but I'm gonna say it because some people might not know, some might know. It's called the Indian giver.
it's an Indian giver. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know someone who has been an Indian giver in the past.
Yeah?
Yes, yes, yes. We're not gonna talk about him during the show, but those who know me and those who know or my surroundings, they know that there has been an Indian giver in my life.
Okay.
Also related to the granddaughter of Bob. Well, that's related to the granddaughter, Bob. But
Okay. Okay. Okay.
not
Okay.
gonna dive deep into that.
Maybe
It's a
something for the next
sensitive
show
topic.
or
I don't
a
know.
future show.
Never, never. No shows.
Well,
No shows.
well. I think when we at the point where when we have our Patreon or locals, we can talk more
Yes.
openly. I think,
Yes. Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, so Sharon Osbourne wants her money back. The receipt. She wants her 900K back, which she donated. Well, it was also kind of a joke, but I guess that's a lot of money to donate. Well,
Yeah.
you get tax deductions, etc.
Yeah.
But
Or
anyway, hmm?
she or she's in financial problems and she found a quick way to get her to get her money back.
I don't know if Black Lives Matter has the receipt and
They
whether
don't
she
have the
can
receipt.
ask it back. But
No, they don't have the
you
receipt.
also had, as you could see, this was posted by Candace Owens. Candace basically had a full show stating a lot of, let's call it, facts or stats. Let's call it stats that she basically summarized, in which she was trying to point out that the movement is looking in the wrong direction. To summarize it,
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it
I
seemed
think
like she was trying to state, that's what she was trying to state
yeah.
with her video. In the past, well, you don't have to agree with everyone all the time. Sometimes you might think that person is a idiot,
To say the least.
a, a moron. Not on that I'm saying that I think she's an idiot, but sometimes I don't agree with her. But in this case, the things she mentioned, she had some valid points.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta give someone also props
Yeah.
regards to certain points.
Yeah. And I think she talked about for example, the high abortion rate
Mm-hmm.
in New York. I think she said that in 2012 the amount of abortions was, and this is crazy, it was higher than the births.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she also talks about how obesity is actually the biggest killer of black people, and
And now the cops.
not the cops, of course, not the cops.
Mm,
And black on black crime violence is pretty high as well. But regards to obesity, I think she said that in the United States, 56% of women are regarded as are considered obese.
mm.
And with obesity, um, she mentions, and I think this is also what Kanye West alluded to, but he didn't go deep into this. But that we are in a generation living in a time where you can it's when you say something like this, it can even be considered fat shaming, right? But being overweight has health risks, and
Mm-hmm.
um, she talks about the she talks about how we are glorifying, for example, Lizzo, who is she's fat,
Obese.
she's obese, she's both, and she's in a risk of you can laugh but it's the truth, and she's in the risk of uh, a lot of medical complications. But instead of people telling her, and I do, and so there's a double stance. I think that we should always at, respect people, and we should always treat people with respect. We should always um, remember that everyone has the same worth as people. No one is worth more than the other. Well, financially, maybe sometimes, but not in human lives. Well, actually, if you ask a insurance company, they will say
I was
otherwise.
I was about to say, but
When you ask insurance companies, they'll say otherwise. But I mean, if you're overweight, you might not get. If you're overweight, that might be a factor for you not to get, let's say, a certain loan, or a certain insurance, because they do see that as a risk. So, and she's saying that instead of, let's say, if Black lives really matter, then we should be telling Black people, okay, guys, we have to start eating healthier. There should be a movement on eating healthier. There should be a movement on exercising, um, because because most deaths come from obesity. But we don't do that. Instead, we say that there is an oppressor out there, and it's the oppressor's fault that we're in this situation. So, and I'll just say this, and we can continue. It's a clear, when you look at the debate between, let's say, Black Lives Matter, you have two groups, you can say. You have one group that, and I will be very extreme in this example, one group that only focuses on what the or that mainly focuses on what the society is doing towards them, and one group that says, well, I don't care about what society thinks, or what the leaders think, or what the people in power think. I have control over my future, and I will work hard to achieve my goals. And I think there's a place for both. There should be a place for both in our society. But comes to the point, you need to listen to each other.
one thing she also said, well, maybe you didn't chime on that, or maybe you wanted to do that later. She was also pointing, next to obesity, that focusing on education should be also a point. I think she mentioned a couple of very interesting statistics regarding young men in California not being able to read and write at the standard or minimum level for their age groups. A high percentage. I don't recall the percentages, because she was summing them up back to back to back. So I lost track at a
Yeah,
certain point, but I was shocked at the high rate of young
illiteracy.
men of, yes, you can call it illiteracy, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
slightly not being on the level they had to be on that at that age. So I think
And
that's something.
yeah, you also
I'm
have
sorry.
financial literacy, right? So you have the literacy, so what you learn at school, and also
Yeah,
financial literacy, uh, how to deal with money, how to manage money. We're out here, people are out here with 5, 6 credit cards, traveling instead of investing. These are also things um, that really has negative consequences for the Black community.
yeah. She was, as it says here in the article, she mentioned. What's so funny?
I didn't read this article. I
Oh,
didn't.
I just happened to see the article,
Yeah.
and
We should
I
have put
I
a White
added
Lives
it.
Matter T-shirt on Lizzo. That's what I read. That's why I laughed.
Yes, she. I think she said it right. Yeah, she said it in the video,
Yeah,
that if they had put it on her, maybe that would have had a different outcome. But who knows? Who knows? This is
maybe.
pure speculation.
Yeah, maybe.
So that is basically the part of Kanye right now. We're going right away to the part of Ime Udoka. Ime was, last week we talked about him having work office affairs with two women that were anonymous then, or at least according to the Boston Celtics didn't want to share their information, and What do you know? The press always finds out who's doing what.
The press always finds out, and the people, when they read the news, they're happy.
So allegedly, according to sources, dailymail.co. We didn't say it. It's not from us. We're not the we're not the journalists around here. Exclusive. Ime Udoka's lover revealed he cheated on Lee along with a 34-year-old devout Mormon married mother of three
Mm.
who landed her team service manager job with Boston Celtics through friendship with legendary former chief Danny Ainge. Do you know Danny?
Yeah, of course I know Danny Ainge. Yeah, Danny Ainge is one of the most popular names in basketball. Yeah, as it stands to as it relates to ownership of a team. Yeah,
Okay. He's the owner of Boston Celtics.
I believe he's the owner. It says former chief, right? So maybe he's not the owner. He was a former chief, but he was running
Basketball operations of
yeah
basketball
he was
operations. Danny,
yeah he was running the
the basketball
basketball
operations there.
operations. Yeah, yeah.
63 years old. I think I would be if I introduce someone to the company. You hope that that your recommendation shows to be adding value to the company. Well, she was adding value to Ime's life, but not maybe to the Boston Celtics organization in this case.
Yeah. Well,
You shouldn't do that. That was a pretty good joke, man. This is only for the bad jokes. That's what you should do.
okay.
But she was
Well, I
basically
didn't.
hmm?
Continue. Continue.
Anyway. Age was sadly or deeply disappointed about the affair.
Mhm.
So he risked it all for a 34-year-old. You would have thought he might have went for a 20-year-old,
25.
but no, 25. But he just went for one that's
Well,
34.
you would have thought he would have went for his fiance. Actually, I would.
Let's start with that. Yes, yes. So
His,
now I'm talking
his,
about the when
his
you hear
baby,
about the affair. That's
the
what I'm
mon.
talking
Yeah, yeah,
about.
yeah. Okay,
Of course,
yeah.
of course, you should go always, guys. Go. What do they say on the streets? And this is gonna rhyme. Black men don't cheat.
Black men don't cheat. Black boys do.
Oh, that's a good one. We should put that on the shirt.
No, that's already taken, man. Charlemagne has it. Charlemagne
Oh,
of the
really?
breakfast. Yeah, 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 yeah.
He has a
He has
shirt
a
for that?
song. Yeah, I don't know if he has a shirt, but he has a song with Lil Duval. Remember?
Hey, it's in the public now. We can use it. No, I'm just
We
kidding.
can unless he has it copyright. He probably does.
He probably does. Smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically, this is her, according to sources.
I want to talk about something I heard in a interview of the Breakfast Club with Stephen A. Smith, who is one of the top sports journalists, and he closely follows basketball and American football, especially, right? So with regards to basketball, of course, he has his connections, and he said that it was. He said in the interview that during his years, I think he has 30 plus years in journalism,
Mm.
there have been countless of similar incidents. And I want to get your thought on this one, KR, because he said that there have been countless of incidents where there has been one or more office related affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, a majority of them were consensual, Probably not all of them were. Maybe there weren't relationships, but just, misconducts. The point he made was that during his 30 plus years of experience, this is the first time he experienced a punishment like this, because usually what they do is, especially if it was consensual, it's either a disciplinary measure or you might get fired. But of course there are rumors, he said, but the person gets fired. No one knows, it doesn't get publicized, and maybe that guy or woman will find a job somewhere else in another team. But because it wasn't publicized, he doesn't get, that person still has job opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that this was the first time, and he doesn't agree. He agrees that he should have been fired, but he doesn't agree with the way the Celtics handled it. And we talked about that in our last show as well. He didn't agree with the way that he was the things was handled, but with how the Celtics handled it. But to him, it seems very disproportionate. So he was asked, KR, if he thought that this was personal. And he, in my opinion, deflected. And he said, I don't know if it was personal. I'm just saying I've never seen it before. Well, and he said that it's because Stephen A. Smith is also a very avid supporter of the Black culture, right? He supports the HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities and things.
Yeah.
I think he's always on the forefront when there's a racial matter. Sometimes I believe you make something racial that is not racial, but we can always agree to disagree. But he said that this is the first time he saw it's funny, or it's noteworthy, that the first time this happens in history, to his recollection, it happened to a Black man. So the question is, do you think it has something to do with race? Or do you think it has something to do with something else?
In order for me to assess whether it has to do with race or anything else, I need to have all facts on the table. And right now, everyone is speculating. What I do know and what I've read is that it was consensual to begin with, the affair. One of the affairs, because he had two.
That we know of.
That we know of, yes. So those are the two. It started consensual, but later on it became kind of a stalking situation. That's what I've read regarding this. So at that point, it starts to become harassment.
Yeah.
So I cannot, that's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
Based on the current facts, I cannot state whether it's personal or has to do with his race.
You can't reach that conclusion for certain.
Cannot reach that conclusion. I'm not gonna hypothetically talk about things because it has no value. Okay. What I do think is that they have to start releasing some data for people to know what is happening here. Yeah. Because as a company, I said last week that they didn't do the wrong thing by not releasing it yet, but by suspending him for the time being.
Did you change your mind? Because I thought that they did it, that they handled it bad. And I think you said, and you made a good point why.
As a business, they didn't make it.
Yeah,
I still believe it's still not a. So, like I said last week, if you're running a business, you're running a team. If you're going to suspend the coach later on in the preparation time to the season, you're basically removing all chances they have. You're
the team.
basically the team, yeah, the team chances to battle for a let's say a playoff seat, because you're basically taking out the roots from the team out of the one pillar, important pillar in the team. You're taking him out of the ground and just removing all roots. So from a business and team perspective, they are still believe that they didn't do the wrong thing. They also probably suspended him because they know much more than we know, whether it's personal or because I've also heard, but that's the thing, rumors. That's why I say they should start releasing some information, because people were talking about pregnancies, abortion.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
didn't you hear that?
I didn't hear that. No, I
I was
didn't hear
I
that.
heard about abortions. I mean, that's speculations, of course, rumors, but
Well, at least,
people are talking crazy right now on
at
the
least,
internet.
if there was abortion, it didn't happen in the state of New York. It happened. It didn't contribute
to
to the
the
abortion
success.
rate in New York. No, it was in Massachusetts. No,
Roe
but
versus Wade is also not act. No, I'm just kidding.
no, but I think, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that detail actually. But
Where did
I think
yeah.
something else that plays a role, and I do agree with you that we shouldn't make reach conclusions without all the information. But I do think there's also another variable that we have to take into account. How many times, so let's say in the past, this is also data, when this happened in the past, KR, how many times did how many times did a man or woman had an affair in a sports organization? Because Stephen A. Smith, of course, was talking about the sport sector. How many times do you think that the man or woman had the affair with the wife or husband of someone at the top? Maybe that's also groundbreaking. And maybe that's also the
Yes,
reason
yes.
why. Maybe
By the
that's
way,
also the reason
you're
why he
saying
gets.
something here. You're saying something here because I've read the article about the alleged Mormon woman which he cheated with.
Mhm.
She's married to someone that's a consultant, so there might be a third person, or
Love triangle.
there might be even a third. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the other person which he cheated on, which is part of the significant other of someone up top, or maybe there's a third one. Like I said, it's hard right now to say anything because
Yeah.
everything we say is pure speculation.
Yeah.
As you can see here, this is the significant other of Taylor, not Taylor, um Miss Lynch. She's married to a financial consultant, so she wasn't the one up top with the married to someone important in the organization.
That might be
So,
the other one.
so apparently it could be the other one, or maybe there are more.
Maybe
Maybe he was slaying that
Slaying Travis.
Tumble all over the organization. Maybe he was that toxic. At
Yeah.
a certain point, you cannot have someone run wild in the organization.
Yeah, and if
We
it's
don't know
like that, I do
if
agree
it's
that
if
yeah.
it's really so. So that's I repeat myself for the fourth time right now. Boston Celtics. Maybe we should clip this out. Boston Celtics. Is it the front office? Who's responsible for this? No, it's not gonna be the front office.
It's not a problem.
Whoever is responsible for this, start releasing some data. Start releasing some facts. We need to know because this is both bad for your organization because people are still spreading rumors all over the internet, or maybe they want it to die. I don't think it will die,
Yes,
but
it's not gonna die like that.
it's
No,
not
it's
gonna
not gonna
die.
die.
So
No.
start releasing some information
Information.
so people can so we can eat out here. We're starving. We're starving for information. But yeah, but all jokes aside, this is a very bad situation for everyone involved. I mean, this guy who seems like a stand-up guy from the picture. I mean, he seems like a fun guy. He's happy with his wife. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. The kid, innocent kid,
Yeah, the innocent kid. Yeah.
and Matumbo is running wild.
No, well, you have to remember as well that, or not remember as well. I saw a video of the former fiance Nia Long. I think she's the former, or maybe she's their fiance as well. No, that's also a rumor. So let's. Up to this point, she's still the fiance. I haven't heard anything that contradicts that. But now she has cameras following her around, her and their son, asking questions. You know, the paparazzi. You know how the paparazzi do. And in situations like that, it's always, I do sympathize for the children, especially because they didn't do anything to deserve it, you know. And yo, who's to know, KR? Maybe she knew. Maybe it was an agreement.
Yes. Well, talking about her being confronted earlier this week, she was basically walking to her car, and this was happened. And I think behind her is their son walking. So the son she had with Ime. So
Yeah.
this is how it went
Hi,
down.
Nia, how are you? How are you holding up?
I don't have any comment right now. I'm sorry.
There's nothing that you want to say. I mean, are you guys working things out? All right. Is there any chance of forgiveness, Nia? All right. Best of luck to you, Nia. Best of luck. Bye. Thank you.
I mean,
He
the
landed-
questions, man. The questions, man.
Yeah,
She has self-control because the questions, man.
it's like TMZ. I think probably, or maybe it's a TMZ like platform. But
Yeah, maybe.
imagine
But-
you walking with your kid to your car, and then someone starts asking you random questions about the affair your significant other might have had.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the kid is walking there as well, so it's not like she can, whatever. It's like kind of embarrassing for the kid as well because now at school he's might be confronted by others about the situation. It's a sad situation. You gotta think about the consequences. If you go into
Things like
affairs
that.
because your family might be the one that's
Suffering.
suffering. Yeah, at the end, your
Yeah.
kids. I mean, you at a certain point, you might not care anymore about your wife or your girlfriend or whoever is your significant other, but the kids are probably the ones who will suffer more because you're gonna break up, and of course, they might get if you're that's this well known, they might get everyone might hear it, and they might tease your kid to the point they might be bullying him.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Nia was basically not commenting on anything, but then you had Nia Long's ex,
Mm. Yeah.
Messiah Dorsey. I don't know who he is. Apparently, he's an
But
actor.
he came to the rescue as a real
Into
Messiah
the
would.
Yeah,
Yo.
Masai or Masai.
Must
I don't know.
must
This
say,
is
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
an exotic name. You guys
Masai,
know
I
I'm not
think.
good with
Masai.
exotic names. Last think in the BLM show, I butchered someone's name
Yeah, he
multiple
butchered it.
times.
Yeah.
It's what it is. But he said, so he's saying he made a mistake. Dude, you don't know the answer. Maybe he does know.
Maybe he
Maybe it's one
does.
mistake.
Maybe he does.
But he made one mistake. But he's not a bad guy. By the way, he has a kid with Nia.
Me too.
Yeah, so we might have interacted with Ime. They
Or he
might be
might be paying
buddies.
or you might be paying child support for both. We started the show with my double thought, child support. Maybe it's like, well, don't break up with him now, or else I have to start paying.
Now my bag ain't up. Now I
Yeah, yeah,
end up paying more.
yeah. And you're living in Boston. Well, at least it's not New York or so. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so he's saying he's not a bad guy, and that the actress is giving unconditional love. Maybe he talks to her. Maybe he knows more. Seems like a wild statement though, but
Yeah, to
after
come.
this in this situation right now where we at,
Yeah,
seems like a very wild statement to say as an ex.
yeah.
Maybe he's maybe he's trolling. That would be horrible, by the way.
Yo,
But
that would be a good troll, but very horrible.
yeah, because
Yeah,
he's still the mom of your kid.
yeah.
You gotta be able to.
That would be a good
I mean,
troll.
some
Yeah.
people
Maybe maybe he's repeating what his ex-wife told him when he went
oh no,
when he
no.
went when he went to her and he said, but Nia, why I've been treating you so well, and have you heard about him? Have you heard the word on the street? He runs wild. And Mia said, well, despite everything you heard, he's actually a very good guy. And now he had the chance to throw it back.
Hey, but by the way, Nia look
Also
good.
possibly. What did you say?
Nia look good.
Yeah, she looks good. She always looks
Like I
good.
said, she always looks good.
She's a
I don't know if the pictures I saw. I need to see Miss Lynch in real life because the pictures. Well, I think we discussed this in the previous show, or we didn't. Maybe we
we
didn't.
didn't.
Should you? If women always say this.
Yeah.
If
And
he
I know
cheats,
where you're going with this one. Yeah.
if he cheats, better be with a better looking girl or woman. How you want to look at it?
Well, no, well, I haven't heard it said like that. I've heard it said like in the sense that they don't understand how a man who is married or is in a relationship with a very beautiful woman will have an affair with Shrek's cousin. And I tell them that it's like, it's not because they look at the beauty, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when men do it, it's just they just want something different. And if you look at, you know, they say men or dogs. Well, I have two examples. One of them is we have like 4 dogs at home, and one of the male dogs and one of the female dogs. Let's call her a female dog. Was they're not neutered or castrated, I think you say.
Castrated.
So when you see how the male dog, what the male dog turns into when it's mating season, it's crazy. Sometimes they hurt themselves trying to get that. This dog was trying to get through some
2 centimeter hole.
the dog was trying to get through the gate. It's like it's diamond shaped, so it could fit. The dog could fit its head in, could barely fit its head in the gate, but he was trying to get out.
Get out or get in?
Get in.
Okay.
But at the same time, so that's one part, one aspect of a dog. The other aspect of the dog is that no matter how you treat him, he's always happy to see you when you get home. So the dog is very loyal as well. And I think that's something that first of all, I don't think men are dogs. That be clear. And there's a difference between people and animals. But I do think that sometimes we forget, due to all the technology we have, all the books we read, all the movies we watch, you know, all the fancy things we have around us, that we have more in common with nature than we do with man-made constructions. And so if you're not disciplined, then you might find yourself in a situation where you get banned, or not banned, but prohibited to work for a year at least.
Suspended.
Because you couldn't control your urges.
Sad but true. One thing I want to chime in, because I let you talk, of course. But if you say a man is a dog, it takes 2 dogs. Don't forget that. People always say stuff without actually thinking. So if you if someone suggests a man is a dog, there should be another dog at his side as well. He's not doing it with the other. Another thing, but to go back to what my a matter of fact. So it was a matter of fact moment.
It's definitely a logical conclusion you
It's a logical conclusion, but I think a lot of people don't see things as logical as I sometimes see it. Another thing, but the thing I started with was the fact that some females will ask the question why a guy might cheat with a, let's call it, physically less appealing woman. Sounds great. Sounds really great. Physically less
Sounds better than
appealing.
ugly.
Let's call it less appealing because someone's trash is another person's treasure. But however you want to look at it, um, if I think someone has, I've, if you look at it from this perspective, you can also ask yourself if he can cheat and find him a better looking woman that might even cater better to him, why should he stay with the previous one? So watch out what you wish for,
In what
ladies.
sense? In what sense?
So let's say if a girl says, if my man cheats, he better cheat with a better looking woman. If he cheats with a better looking woman, chances are he can get her as well into a relationship. So he might end up dumping you for a better looking woman. Why should I stay with you if I can upgrade to a Ferrari?
So
Why
more
should
of
I
this.
keep driving the Honda Civic
Yeah.
while a Ferrari is in the front porch right here?
Well, the Honda is probably more reliable.
Maybe, maybe, maybe.
But some
Maybe
people
I
they
chose the
get
wrong. I
crazy,
chose the
man.
wrong. Damn, you got me. You got me though
Well, I'm
because I
just
chose
saying,
the wrong.
it's
I
more
chose the wrong
reliable.
car. I chose the wrong car. I'll be honest. I chose the wrong car.
You chose,
I had to choose a Ford or something like that.
yeah, you definitely afford.
Yeah. I chose a
Yeah,
Japanese car.
yeah.
Ah,
No, but I
anyway,
think,
but
yeah, but I think that no, you wanted to finish your thought.
yeah, because a lot of times people might be people always talk about cheating, etc. You don't know. I'm talking about cheating related to celebrities. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors, and it's hard to assess whether they have actually a good relationship. Maybe they don't have a good relationship, and he's looking outside for better a better situation. Now, wouldn't do that at work
Yeah, but that's why.
simultaneously. Mm.
That's what now that you're mentioning it, that's what Stephen A was referring to when he said that this had to stay behind closed doors because it's an HR matter. uh, they're both the people involved all did it with consent. They're all grown-ups, and it's actually none of our business. But by basically coming out with it, they made it everyone's business. They made their life something that had to be handled privately, public.
Unless there was harassment involved.
Unless there was
You
a arrest.
cannot remove that part because it started at consensual, but it seems like it turned out totally different.
Yeah,
I think that's something.
it's
Maybe
tricky because now this man will not get the chances of this guy getting another job is
depends on the
he might
facts again.
he
It
might get a
depends
job.
on
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. But that's what you mean with we need to have more information.
We need more information because
Yeah,
how else can we assess what is the situation?
yeah.
Maybe he didn't bang a higher up. Maybe it's well, not a higher up. He banged the wife of a person
I,
in the C level
mm-hmm,
or the VP level.
mm-hmm.
Who knows? If he didn't, then this might end up as a small thing, and he will get a job. I mean, at the same time, you cannot compare the past with right now. I think that's one thing I cannot agree with Steven.
Okay.
Because in the past there wasn't the whole Me Too movement and all those movements where also there is this cancellation kind of culture going on, this hysteria. Even in consensual relationships, the hysteria of uh, subordinates having relationships with their supervisors, or man woman relationships on the work floor, power dynamics, stuff like that. There is a lot of buzz about those things. So in the past, you didn't have that. So you cannot compare the way the team. Let's. I'll say it differently. If this probably happened in the 80s, they would have shoved it away, paid someone
Mhm.
off, probably. I would think that's how they used to do stuff like this.
That's how they used to do it. But then you have
Pay,
the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. So it's not like
but
we,
the situation we're in right now, this is lately. I mean, Me Too
how
movement really
lately.
started about 2017. So I want to know from Steven what is the period he's actually talking about? Because if it's talking about after 2000 well, what happened? I think 2017 was kind of the rise of Me Too. 2016. If he's talking about before 2016, I'm not trying to excuse the whole situation,
No,
but
no,
I
no.
just
I'm hearing you. I'm
trying to
hearing you.
putting into perspective, because I think the a lot of things, like, do we think that also, which we're going to talk about next, if Ned cheated in the 90s, that he would have been fired, probably would have got suspension or something like that.
In the
Chances.
90s, yeah, probably.
Suspension, you get suspended a half a year,
But
and then
yeah, I think I think in the past it might have been even worse because if you hear like the OGs, say the retired when you the retired basketball players, football players, they all say, "Well, thank God there wasn't social media back then."
yeah,
I think it was Magic Johnson, the great Bill. He's a billionaire right now, right? Magic Johnson went on
no,
air, I think, and
don't
he
want to
said,
call him what I call him, but
but he said that
he ain't got the magic. He got the magic stick.
yeah, he said when he was talking about because I think he had was it AIDS or HIV
HIV. That's what he had.
he
Well, I
had,
don't know if he had the flu full blown.
yeah,
I know
okay,
he had at least HIV.
HIV, yeah. So he
He
had
was
HIV.
running. He was running wild in the 90s. He
uh,
wasn't the only one. What's the other one again? Who slept with 1,000 women? You had
uh,
Magic, and you had.
where did he who
He
did he
was.
play for?
I think he was also on the Lakers.
On the Lakers, I don't know, but Magic Johnson.
Will Chamberlain.
Wilt. Oh yeah,
Wilt.
Wilt.
Wilt
Yeah.
was running wild, dude. He was 2000.
Well, uh, Magic Johnson said casually in an interview when he was talking about how when the interviewer asked him how he thought that he got it, and it was back then, right?
Mhm.
And he was like, "Yeah, I was living wild. I was living wild, sleeping with 7, 8 women in one night, having orgies." And the interviewer was like, "Okay, don't know how to proceed from here." But I do think, I mean, it's not something new, but they didn't have cameras back then.
Yeah, I think that's the big change between. It's one thing you have to really consider the time we're in. You cannot. It's hard to compare the past with where we are at right now as a culture, where we are at in the world.
But you mentioned something. Because I don't know which one is worse. If Ime Udoka's situation is worse, or the try guy situation is worse, because I think that's this. I mean, that's something different to be said about that.
Perfect transition, because then we go right away to the try guys. Let's try to see what happened. So, because of all the uproar of Ned being fired, the team decided to release a video, and we're gonna look at a small part of the video. Basically, they were stating what happened and how they will proceed from now on. So a short clip. I'm gonna play a couple of minutes, just 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're gonna discuss this.
Is no longer working with Ned Fulmer is no longer working with the Try Guys. By now, we're assuming you've seen the Reddit threads and TikToks and tweets and news articles. We want to give you a timeline of what's transpired and some transparency into our decision making. Throughout this video, there will be things that we want to say or go into further, but as I'm sure you're aware, there are some legal issues we have to consider as we go through everything.
On Labor Day weekend, multiple fans alerted us that they had seen Ned and an employee engaging in public romantic behavior. We reached out to check on that employee. Ned confirmed the reports and since confirmed that this had been going on for some time, which was obviously very shocking to us. And we just want you to know that we had no idea this was going on. All of that information was just...
Before I continue, I want to say the names of the guys. So this is Eugene. The middle one is Zach, and the one on the right is Keith. So when we continue, if I mention their name, just so you guys know which I mean. So this is Eugene on the left, Zach in the middle, and Keith on the right.
And together,
us as all of this has been for you this week.
And thus began a 3-week process of engaging with employment lawyers, corporate lawyers, HR, PR, and more, in order to make sure we were taking all necessary steps. From the jump, we were acutely aware of just how contrary this was to the values of the company we've built and those of everyone who works here.
Do you think Eugene was furious?
I mean, he seems really mad right now. Like, he seems, yeah, you can definitely see it. The way he talks, yeah.
He talks very aggressive.
And remember,
compared to
guys,
the
they used
other
to be 4, and they actually built the Try Guys brand together. And so to find out someone did something to, I mean, I don't know about you, KaiR, but if we build something up together, we build this brand together, and then I do something that makes you lose money, I think you'll be mad too.
probably choke you, but no. But all jokes aside, I do think that I would be mad if you do something that's against my ethics. Ethics.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's probably something that why Eugene is also mad about this, because it's not only about money. You trust someone when you build a company together, or you build the organization, whatever you build together, you trust someone to do the right thing at all times. And by basically doing what he did, he not only violated what these guys believed in, because we are building a company together, you also, the trust I gave you, you're basically violating it.
Yeah.
Behind my back.
Yeah.
You're having an affair with a coworker.
Yeah.
And with all the consequences, because it always leads to a problem. You should know better. As a owner or as a co-founder of an organization, that guy should have known better. You're exposing everyone to lawsuits, like we talked about in the previous show. Unhappy co-workers. So you're basically downing the morale and productivity of other people. All those things you're putting in a pot and serving it to your co-founders. Like, guys, here you go.
Yeah.
And now they look crazy as well. Let's be honest. Now I have to put out a statement in order to say, not to save my ass, but in order to explain why you made a mistake.
Why
how
you made the mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why we didn't see it, because I think they partially also they basically say, yeah, we didn't see this coming. Obviously you don't see this coming because he's cheating, but hey man, tough. So I understand his rage, and I'm not sure. I've read somewhere that he also had parents that broke up in sort of way, so maybe that's wrong
Triggered
information.
something. It could have triggered something, triggered a trauma or something.
Trigger something with him. I don't know if that information is correct, but
Okay.
a lot of times I don't really look into these YouTube or whoever celebrity. I don't look into their lives. I just consume the art, and then whatever you do in your personal life, you can do whatever you want to. But I understand their situation.
Yes.
That side though. yo, come on.
Acutely aware of just how contrary this was to the values of the company we've built and those of everyone who works here. This is something we took very seriously.
It's either he was waiting for the prompter to go up, or he was building that rage. I don't know which one it is.
Actually, the first time I saw it, I thought it was the prompter. So
you can read it two different ways.
Yeah.
But okay, let's continue.
We refused to sweep things under the rug. That is not who we are, and it's not what we stand for.
We immediately
Obviously, he has it's personal here because
the rug. That is not who we are, and it's not what we stand for.
We immediately removed Ned from work activities and engaged an HR professional to conduct a thorough review of the facts. We also opted to remove Ned from our releases pending the results of that review. Over a few weeks, that's included removing his section from videos, digitally removing him from others, and choosing not to feature him in our merch throws. Honestly, I want to give major props to our editing staff for how deftly they've handled that. There are several videos that we've deemed as fully unreleasable. You will never see them, and that is due to his involvement. And that's a decision that has cost us lots of money.
You said it.
Told you.
It's addicts and money. It's always boys up.
It's always money. It's always money. So in law, there's something we say that because law is something people think of justice, right? And law, the purpose of law is to try to achieve as much justice as possible. But law and justice are two separate things. And when you want to go to court, a lawyer told me this once when I just started out, and I don't agree with him 100%, but I do think that there is some truth into it. No, 90% of the times it's about money directly. You have a dispute, rent dispute, purchase dispute, labor dispute, whatever it may be. Maybe 5 or 7%. It's not about money, but it's about love. But love and money are pretty close, actually. And the remaining 5 to 3% has to do with permits for opening a business, which also has to do with money. So at the end of the day, you have the human component of feeling betrayed because things were happening right. You said behind their backs. I say right under their noses.
Yeah.
Right under their noses. They were acting like they were actually acting for them in front of them every time. So you go back, I can imagine you go and rethink certain things that happen, certain scenarios. And you're like, wow. When she said this, did she mean that? So you become paranoid. But aside from the human aspect, you also have the financial aspect. Because, of course, they have a business. Guys, before we continue, remember to like the video. Remember to share the video. We really appreciate your support as always. We started this stream with an unusual amount of struggle stream incidents.
Struggle streaming up to the gills, as they say. It looked very bad, but it recovered pretty well. I have to say, it's been quite solid.
It's part of the show, but also that's why I mean it also goes to show KaiR how much more we appreciate, or we should appreciate and do appreciate your support for sticking around. And remember to comment. We're curious about your thoughts as well. Curious to know if you agree with things we say or things we don't say. KaiR.
So let's continue with the video. Zach was explaining basically that they are burning money because of Ned. No, they burn their money.
They burn their money.
They were flying out to certain places to record. So now I'm here sitting with a couple of clips I cannot use.
Dope clips.
Now, anyway, Eugene is still looking mad. So this is basically the faces you would think. The one Keith on the right is basically having the Manning face. You know the Manning face? Zach is like, I don't know how I have to react.
No, well, actually, Zach also seemed pretty pissed off. If you look at the video, especially when he's talking, because I can imagine
emotional.
He gets emotional.
He gets more emotional. Eugene is furious throughout the video. He's like, I'm gonna slap Ned to the face. Guys, no violence. We don't approve of
we don't condone violence, guys.
But he looks very mad. Let's continue.
We will not be able to recoup that money, but it's a decision we stand by proudly.
Now, we can't talk about the details of the review, but suffice to say, we found that Ned had engaged in conduct unbecoming of our team, and we knew that we could not move forward with him.
In the NFL, they call that conduct detrimental. That's a specific term they use to end contracts like this in this situation.
Okay.
But let's continue.
So on Friday, September 16th, the three of us signed written consent of the members of Second Try LLC approving the removal of Ned as a manager and an employee. We chose not to rush into the announcement for a few reasons. Namely, there are real people who have been affected. And while we consider this a company matter, there's just also a family at the center of this.
Now, we were always planning on a public statement. and we're working towards that with our team. But in light of rapidly accelerating speculation, we knew we couldn't wait any longer. We were obviously incredibly shocked and deeply hurt by all of this. This is someone who we'd built a brand and a company with for 8 years. We feel saddened, not just personally, but on behalf of our staff and our fans who believed in us.
Was it the prompter again, or was it really this frustration carrying out right there?
This time, I think it was a frustration. Yeah, it's tough, man, tough. And it was mentioned as well. It at the core of the business, there was, except for there was a family as well.
Mm-hmm.
There were families, right? I think their significant others at one point were also doing shows.
Yeah. They were also part of the business.
Yeah.
They had a podcast with all the so-called wives, and they had also, well, he was the wife guy. So
He was the wife guy, yeah. He was the wife guy, yeah. He was the wife.
Imagine you building a brand based on being the wife guy, and just out here slinging, doing Motombo stuff in your dude. Imagine this. Oh man, I would have been pissed too. You have a company, and someone is running wild in your company, and I don't know, they're not gonna reveal what has been revealed in that review, but they probably know that this guy might have been doing more than maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. But I think that if you do it, I think if you consider all the scenarios in this matter, we're talking about, because it was definitely a mix. It seems like it was a mix between business and family, so they blended it, right? And that made made for a good chemistry. When you watch the clips, they do look so the clips from before, not this one. they do look like a family. And now you find out that the two people were screwing you over, pun intended. And now you have to sit in front of a camera.
Dude, oh my god.
Sit in front of a camera with all your emotions going all over the place, because you're still processing what happened or what is happening, because like Eugene said, it's going so fast. And to having to sit and basically clean up someone else's mistake. I would be pissed too, man.
Crazy.
I would be pissed too.
I don't know that we'll ever be able to fully articulate the pain we feel at this moment. It's hard to rewatch old videos that we love and are proud of. We're losing a friend. We're losing someone we built a company with. We have countless memories with.
This is what I mean when it becomes emotional.
We just made a TV show together. I'm built a company with. We have countless memories with. We just made a TV show together. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. It's weird. We're sorry that this ever happened, and we don't know what more to say.
There's also our staff of 20 strong who they just don't deserve the negative attention our brand is now getting because they didn't do anything. But they're our family, and they're some of the most talented, creative minds in the world. And our primary focus right now is making sure they feel comfortable and proud coming to work. The work they do never ceases to astound us. And frankly, there's just no world in which we could have navigated all of this without them. Now, there are videos that were shot ahead of all this, right? We're going to be editing Ned out like the new season of Without a Recipe, and we're working with our editors and finding creative solutions to the footage. And we also have some branded videos that we've already committed to. So when you see a video that's sponsored in a few weeks and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Well, yeah, it is kind of weird. It's just how things are. And that's why.
Oh my God. So you're telling
So
me
his face will continue to pop up.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because they can edit out certain things.
But not the
With
brand,
branded, no,
brand
not the
agreements
branded
they
video.
made already. They cannot do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tough.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I think that maybe that this is a solution. They would probably need to check it with their lawyers because I don't know what exact agreement was. But maybe, because I can imagine if I'm a brand and I don't want my brand to be associated with someone that
It's not part of the group anymore.
yeah, or
For
that
some kind
yeah,
of
and
reason.
not only that, but that has a stain, right? A negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless your company is like
Blue Chew. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
You don't want your company to be associated with someone with that is stained, unless you're selling, cleaning products. I think what's important is for them to go talk and see if they go talk and see if they can restructure the agreement. But I can imagine that the brand, the brand can also say, listen, we already paid you, so you figure it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I believe that you should only try to solve things amicably, and maybe they would need to carry a majority of the weight because it's their problem. And with they, I mean the Try Guys. But on the other hand, if I'm the brand, I might be open to renegotiation as well to protect my own brand.
Look, I get that when stuff like this happens, there's going to be speculation and gossip. And we ask that you respect the privacy of the family members and employees who may be caught up in this. We also want to remind you that the internet has a tendency to be a lot harsher towards women than men. So please, we ask that you exercise kindness.
Things will change here. What we hope is that within this, there's also the opportunity for positive growth and better videos ahead. But it's going to be hard. This whole thing is going to be really fucking hard.
And we imagine you have lots of questions, a lot more questions right now. And we're going to have more to say in the future. Just right now, we're focused on bringing the best content possible between now and the end of the year, and then figuring out what the future of this channel looks like from there.
That's it for now. Again, more to come. Some things may change. We are just sort of figuring it out all one day at a time.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate you. And we look forward to introducing you to the next era of the Try Guys ahead. Ned Fulmer.
That's it.
Tough, man.
That was it.
Tough.
Very tough situation indeed.
I think
yeah.
we have to be on the lookout for rebranding. Rebranding, they have to pivot.
I said everyone will have to rebrand.
I was just about to say, because they have to do it. But when you read the comments below the video, I do think that they have the necessary support. The question is, do you know what the question is, KaiR?
If I would have to guess, can they be as consistent as in the past or something relating to that? I have no idea what the question is. Tell me.
The question is, because there were 4, now there's 3 on this side.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, And we posed this question already.
Did we?
I think we did. Can Ned make a comeback?
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
He thought about it. He talked about it in the previous show, and we also clipped it. So there's also a clip on our site about it. So
Yeah, there's a
can
clip
Ned
about it. Can Ned rebrand? Can he make a
rebrand?
comeback?
I think he can. I definitely think we joked about it.
Yeah, it was a joke, but I think I do agree with you. Even in that joke, there is always
A level of truth.
a level of truth to it. I think he can make it. I think everyone wants, of course. He will have to. It's gonna take a very strong effort. It's not gonna get easy for him because every video he will post from now on, every video will have at minimum one person reminding him of the past.
Yeah.
This is how the internet works. I think the guys of the rest of the group, so Eugene, Zach, and Keith, will have a better, easier path to rebranding.
Definitely easier.
Whether it will work out is different. I think they have a strong brand and they have strong enough content. And I don't know what kind of role Ned had creatively, how big his responsibilities are. But if he it might work out for the better for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ned's gonna be known as the wife guy anymore.
It's gonna be known as the wise guy.
It's gonna be known as the single guy. No,
I don't think it's gonna be single. I think they're
no,
gonna work it out.
I think they will work it out.
I think they work it out. But I do think I think a comeback is not impossible, and I've seen it with. I mean, we can see with countless of artists. You know, he might come back immediately and apologize, and just definitely the sooner the sooner he does his first show, the sooner he can get past the heavy negative backlash he will receive. But if he comes, and I'm saying this not because I advise it, but I've seen it with countless scandals. If he comes, he apologizes. He takes all the negative criticism, and he just posts positive things. People will start saying, "Oh, look at him, he's changed." And then you will be able to read in the comment section how the viewers will start going back and forth, saying, advocating that everyone deserves a second chance.
Should he create a mea culpa video as a first video when he comes back, or should he just act like nothing happened? It's happy family, happy everything, or just come back, say, guys, shit on me on this video, and from now on, I accept my flaws. I did a bad thing. That's by the way a good new channel. The road to recovery, the road to becoming better. I'm not joking.
I think a crackhead might already have that one.
Again?
I think a crackhead might already have that channel. But continue.
He was addicted to Alexandria.
Did you see? I think you sent it, right? The clip.
Which one?
Of the someone that was running he was running for a seat. I think it was a regional seat or a state.
Oh, I know what you mean. It was, yes, he was running. He's running for the one of the southern
Southern, yeah.
Is it from North Carolina? NC?
I thought it was one of the Carolinas. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was one of the
NC.
Carolinas.
It's Kennedy. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
that was a good one. Talking about crackheads. In the meanwhile, I'll try to answer your question, the question you posed while you're looking for the video. I think a mea culpa video saying I'm sorry can actually. I think you can't go around it, and I think it's better to do it like that, because then you'd have control over the content. Because what do you think? The first time he gets interviewed by another platform, they will ask that question. So he might as well. I mean, there's a routine, right? First, check into a rehab center for sexual addiction, and after a couple of months, come back and then post a mea culpa video saying I'm sorry, but I was a victim and I was weak, etc. But I'm getting better, so people will. I mean, in this day and age, people like. It's like sometimes they support the. Not support. Support is the wrong word. It seems like they are quicker to get behind someone that says that they're a victim than someone that achieves something. So to put it, to formulate it differently, they villainize the person that actually worked hard to get to a certain place in life, and they sympathize more, and they celebrate. Celebrate is the word that I was looking for. The victim. Yeah, is this the video? Oh yeah.
Yes, it is the video. But sorry, I interrupted. Do you want to end, or did you already landed it?
Yeah, the plane has landed. If it takes off right now, I can't guarantee another safe landing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I took over the stick, so we're gonna crash it regardless.
All right.
Don't give me the stick. That plane might fly the different way. So a big shout out to Rebel HQ. They have a part of this, so I don't know. I just was listening real quick. I think it will have all the important parts. So shout out to these guys. And if let me put on the sound.
Surging in Louisiana.
It's, by the way, it's John Kennedy from Louisiana, senator.
Louisiana, okay.
This is the campaign clip he created, guys. It's amazing. Let's see how it starts.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
Yo!
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Call a crackhead, man.
Call a crackhead.
Don't call just anyone. Just call a crackhead.
There was also a crazy news. We're not gonna talk about it too much, but there's also crazy news in New York, where they're saying that they call the state of emergency.
Did they already?
Yeah. You can,
because of the crimes.
Because of the measures they took instead of funding the police. So
they defunded. Did they defund?
They didn't defund. They didn't defund the police, but they. You know, there have been some states that have. I don't know what the name of the law is, or the type of law, but they have they determined that certain petty petty crimes or petty thefts aren't to be, so that they shouldn't be prosecuted and things like that. And I remember,
California did that.
California did that as well. It was
running rampant there.
it was a liberal. It's always the liberal states, but people were just walking in, taking stuff out, and I think there were apologies. I think there were things like that so there were laws and regulations like that too implemented in New York, and that consequently led to them now saying that.
What else do you expect?
Crazy.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's be honest. If you decriminalize certain stuff, of course people are gonna do it. Or decriminalize, or you're not as hard on that type of crime. Let's put it that way. Not totally decriminalize, but it's what else can you expect? I think I've seen a number of videos of what happened right after they introduced that bill in California. It was going. It is still going crazy.
It's a bill, yeah.
It's a bill, yeah. They introduced it, and I think the first week it was crazy. Well, when I saw it the first time, it's always shocking when you see on video someone entering a place with a bag, starting to fill up the bag like he's at home, and walking out without anyone touching him. Because if you touch him, you might also get sued.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
And no one is doing anything. These people are stealing all over the place.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. But anyway, let's continue. Let's continue. So we've talked about all these 3 topics. Kanye, Ime, Ned and the Try Guys. This time is more the Try Guys than Ned.
Yeah.
With regards to, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think I don't know what you were about to say, but I think when you look at these 3 stories, the 3 stories that are still going on. Yeah, none of them are finished. Kanye is not finished. Ime Udoka is not finished, and the Try Guy is not finished. So we'll be looking to hearing more from those stories within the next couple of weeks. But I posed the question in the beginning, and my question was, do we get disappointed in people, or are we shocked when things happen because it's generally that shocking? Or is it because we idolize people and forget that they are human beings with faults as well, so that when something goes down, we immediately, and with we, I mean the society as a whole, community, in this case the online community, we are shocked and start becoming restless and entering into discussions with people we don't know on social media platforms. Because sometimes it does seem like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I would hope that I would think that every single person has things going on in their lives. But we are quick to vilify. I don't know. I would think so.
Okay,
we're quick to vilify or whatever the case may be, but it seemed to impact us a lot. And my question is does it impact us because what they do is that impactful? What they did was that impactful? Or is it because we project ideals on those people? They say all our heroes will let us down at one point, right?
Probably. Why do you have other people as he? Now I get in my usual situation again. Heroes. Let's talk. Would you expect someone who's I don't it's a good question. Let's start with that because I'm trying to figure out how to answer this correctly. First of all, from my point of view, you should never look up to someone in a way that you can look up to someone with regards to specific skills. So you want to be like that person, but expecting someone to always be the person you have in your mind, the brand they have created. For example, Kanye. Kanye has done this in the past already. It's not shocking. He did that, I think, when Katrina hit New Orleans.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
He did it the other side. So he did it. It's Kanye is someone who refuses to see the world the way other people think he should see the world. And he will keep reminding you of the fact that he refuses to look at it the same way you do. Because otherwise he'll be kind of a little bit too much like everyone else. I don't know if that's the part of his thought, but he refuses to do whatever is expected from him. He always does the opposite. He's been doing this already in the past.
Then why do we? Because I talked about heroes, but of course on the other side you have the villains. So when you look at the reactions, they either see him as a hero or as a villain. They don't regard it as an opinion of someone regarding an issue.
A great question.
And we're quick to. Another question is, why are we quick to have an opinion on things? Why are we quick to be either pro or against something? It's like when someone asks you, how do you think about this? It's okay to say, I'm not out yet. The verdict isn't out, but this is what I think. This is what he's saying that I can agree with. This is what he's saying that I can't agree with. Because if you villainize that person, that means that everything he does is wrong.
Should I answer your question? Or is it a rhetorical question?
Well, you can answer the question.
Why? Because people are programmed that way.
Okay. Is that what you think? Why do you say that?
Everyone is acting the same way. Everyone is up in arms because Kanye is wearing well, and not everyone, specific group, all the same people, well, the people in that group, which seems to be kind of not on code when he's wearing that White Lives Matter shirt, they're all shocked. Just you just have to think about it, RJ. The stunt Kanye pulled shows that black people are basically responding the same way to the White Lives Matter shirt as white people or certain white people were responding to Black Lives Matter shirt.
Hmm. Hmm.
Both of them are programmed the same way.
It's not a big difference. That's actually a very interesting point you're making. Because I always say that when you see that, let's discuss the topic of immigration, right? It's a very good point you made there, KR. When you talk about immigration, let's say you are a native to the country, and someone from another country comes to you, let's say from Lithuania or something. That person will be an immigrant in your country. You form part of the majority. And if he does things that are weird, that things that are different to what you're accustomed to, and not only you, but maybe what the community is accustomed to, then that would be regarded as weird, right? But I'll go one level deeper. There are many people immigrating daily to other countries looking for a better living. Because in their countries, things are very bad, deplorable. But in the scenario that, let's say if you're living in a developed country, a first world country, let's say, and a war breaks out, let's say in the United States or Europe or wherever, and you find yourself having to exile, to escape, to flee the country, to go to another country. Let's say you go to a Spanish-speaking country, and you don't have a job, and let's say in that country, they don't understand English, and even if they do, the English doesn't help you because you need to have, in that market, you need to speak Spanish. And that's when you have to go to China. You wouldn't have money. You would not form part of the majority, but of the minority. And they will regard you and perhaps even treat you the same way as you treat them, as you are treating them now, while you're in the majority. So life is a lot about roles and archetypes. And today you might be in this role and you will say, yeah, I will never do something. But maybe when you're in the other man's role or shoe, you might do exactly the same or worse. Something to think about.
Definitely.
So would you say that when people say, because people, with regards to Kanye, because I think you made a point and you said it's not new. So I think you're saying that people, please stop acting like Kanye is making bold public statements.
No,
Or
he's
at least-
making both public statements.
At least let's stop acting like this is something new.
Yeah.
Do they not understand him?
I don't think they understand him.
Do they want to understand him?
They are programmed a certain way, so they don't want to understand him either.
Is it important to understand, or is it this? And this is a rhetorical question. Is it more important to understand or to just accept that he is the way he is?
Since it's rhetorical, I shouldn't answer it, right?
You should answer it.
I should answer it. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
should we accept him, or what was the other one? The first one? Accept or try to understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to understand. I think so I'm gonna talk from what I think what he's trying to do. He wants to spark the idea of for people to actually think and ask questions. Because if you ask questions, you will create a better understanding. That's before you have to be willing to ask the question before you try to learn to understand something. A lot of times when you the thing that precedes understanding is questioning. You question yourself, why does this happen? Then you're trying to understand it. But if you're not allowed to even ask the question, you never get to understand anything. So I think he wants people to ask questions, not to understand him. And that maybe that question might not lead to understanding, but that question might lead to understanding of him. He doesn't need to be accepted. He's a billionaire. He doesn't give a rat's ass about other people's lives.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to be accepted. He's okay being himself. Do you think Elon Musk cares about other people's opinion of him? Oh, another Matumbo. I'm disrespecting Matumbo. Matumbo, you're the homie though, but I gotta use your name. It's a catchy name to use for certain people. But do you care? Do you think he cares about other people's opinion of him? He's just being himself. I think I've heard in the past people saying money makes you more of the person you actually are. Something like in that. I might be butchering that saying, but I think he's a billionaire. He's showing who he actually is. But at the same time, he wants to spark people to free their minds, being free in their thoughts. Because do white lives matter? Do black lives matter? Do Asian lives matter? Do we have to mention every race? Can we say the forbidden word? Or to quote, can we say, or is it still forbidden to say, will I get canceled if I say, instead of all the races one by one and trans, and all kind of sexualities. Can we all say all lives matter or no lives matter? Which one is it?
Well, logically, all lives matter.
Yeah.
Now,
But you was going to get canceled if you said that 2 years ago.
yeah. Well, you also have Blue Lives Matter. At first, I thought they were talking about the movie Avatar, but apparently they were talking about police.
Police.
But I think that's a. I mean, that's all semantics, right?
Semantics, yeah, semantics.
It's all semantics. Because of course all lives matter. If you're saying that not all lives matter, then how can you say Asian lives matter? So it's of course like and that's the thing that has to do with the group. I have to think. I'm thinking of a solution. In the Black Lives Matter show, we talked about the importance of. Oh no, we talked about the Black Lives Matter movement and how the slogan is a very catchy slogan. It's actually a very good slogan. It's a slogan that it's a slogan. It's good in the sense that it's good for marketing. Doesn't need to be correct, but it's definitely good for marketing. It's catchy. You know what's another catchy slogan? I'm gonna build a wall.
Three words.
Them,
2 words. 2 words.
No, that's.
No. What I was trying to say was 2 words. Make America great again. 2 words. But that's build a wall is almost the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also catchy.
So I think that the way we are doing things, or at least what we need to remember, is that you can enter into a discussion about the slogan whether all lives matter, but it does matter. All lives matter. Now you want to say, yeah, but Black Lives Matter more, then maybe you should put that. And then someone might say that you're a supremacist. Maybe you should say Black Lives Matter too. And then someone will say, yeah, but White Lives Matter too. So at the end of the day, Kanye was expressing his frustration, but of course he was also consciously, because he's a businessman, so he didn't get to $1 billion by accident. So he was merging, I believe, his beliefs and his marketing strategy by saying White Lives Matter, sparking a conversation, as you said. And it's an endless conversation. But I think the most important thing is, I think it's important to try to understand. But when you reach the point where you don't understand, now you just need to accept. And maybe you're pro, or maybe you're against, but that's your opinion. That's the way I see it.
Can people accept these days? I don't think so.
It seems pretty hard. It seems pretty difficult.
You're either the villain or the hero in your own story, and it seems like more and more people like to paint themselves always the hero in their story and someone who has opposing ideas or thoughts as the villain.
Yeah.
But I think understanding is I do agree with you. Understanding is the way. Asking the question, that's the way, guys.
Asking the question.
If you cannot ask questions anymore, you cannot learn. What do kids do? I think one thing I've always heard from newly parents or parents with kids that are under a certain age, it's like a machine pew pew of questions. I almost use the word machine pew pew of questions. It's unlimited questions. That person is just trying to learn. But if you stop them from asking the question, they will never understand, overstand. They will not learn.
That's true.
Not saying these are kids, but by not asking the question, you limit yourself. You put yourself in a box for the rest of your life.
That's true.
Great.
Well, guys, we hope you guys have enjoyed the show up to this point. We are slowly but surely landing the plane, a plane that started flying with turbulence,
To say the least.
to say the least.
It looked like the movie that's not a plane though, that's a boat. The Perfect Storm.
The perfect storm. Yeah. Well, it's
Great
time
movie, great
to.
book as well. But
Okay.
it started
Well,
very shaky.
yeah. We've experiencing some heavy storms and lightning, so that probably caused some disturbance with the internet in this region because I saw a lot of more people. So it was a problem. It was a collective problem. So
Elon Musk, this is for you.
hey, Elon, I'm
Hook
gonna
us up with the Starlink, man.
Starlink.
Hook us up with a Starlink.
Definitely.
Hey, someone clip this out. Send it to Elon. Hook us up with a Starlink, man.
Yeah, we need the Starlink.
Need a Starlink, man. Help brother RJ out.
So, guys, before we proceed with KR's random thought of the day, just a short recap. We talked a little about we started talking about Kanye West and his White Lives Matter. This is the second time I'm making that mistake. Kanye West with his White Lives Matter t-shirt and all the controversy he sparked. Then we proceeded talking about Ime Udoka, the developments, disclosing some more information that came out regarding that situation. After that, we talked about the tryguys and how they are handling the situation, the decisions they made. We showed you a clip. And if you haven't seen it, you can always watch it in the rebroadcast. And yeah, we talked a little about the question of whether or not it's good that we are quick to idolize or villainize people. Yeah. Perhaps it's just better to just listen to people and try to form your own thoughts and opinion. So, for the final section, KR's random thought of the day. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, we never discussed beforehand, guys, just for you to understand, we never discussed beforehand the random thought of the day. And I think I think we might have thought the same way about the same topic because I was going to do a random thought of the day about Marquise, but since you took the honor to do it, um, um, I have to come up with something up real quick. I have to come up with something real quick. Another thought I had, because I think it's a popping inspired. Let's start with inspired by a trending topic the past week. The Jeffrey Dahmer story. And guys, sometimes usually I think about the random stuff, so I'm making it up as I go right now. Jeffrey Dahmer story. You guys have heard of it? It's a Netflix show. Well, it's a real life. It was a real life serial killer, and they made a show about it. And in that show, he let's say he cannibalizes people, mainly black men, or only black men, or Latino men. And I think it's very remarkable, the timing. I'm not a proponent. I'm not pro. I'm not pro trauma display. So I don't usually watch slave movies because it's basically rehashing trauma and bringing stuff up. But I do think we should talk about this series. People are hyping it up. People are talking about the crazy stuff happening. But one thing we don't talk about is the fact that maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't. And I'm not gonna go the Boozy route, because Boozy was saying we should boycott it. Boycott the Jeffrey. It happened real. It was a real
Based on a
story.
true story. It's based on a true story.
Based on action. Well, it's also made up stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it's based on a true story. So you cannot wish it away. It happened. I'm not saying boycott it, but I'm just saying maybe we should. Let me put it this way. There are crazy people all around the spectrum. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Black, white, whatever color you want to call it. Maybe they should make the next series about coral. Coral Watts. Just to show the spectrum of craziness. Those who don't know, Google call Eugene Watts. Crazy guy. Crazy guy. There was no method to his madness. Since we are going to create all series about serial killers, might as well add him as well. All I'm saying. Anyway, this is probably the worst daily thought. Try to save it, but it is what it is.
I didn't find it that it wasn't as bad as my internet connection. So guys,
That doesn't say much.
guys, thank you for everyone who stuck around until the end. Thank you for all the support. We are seeing that our channel, we are noticing that our channel is growing, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you for your support. Comments, feedbacks, questions are always welcome. You can put them in the chat. If you have suggestions on topics you would want us to cover, put them as well in the chat. KR, maybe you want to tell something about the thing you can share about the social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, of course. Please follow us on the Instagram, where we basically post on a daily which clips we are going to release. We post also every Friday or Saturday early mornings what topics we are going to discuss during the live show. Try to keep you guys up to date. We also post some videos, funny stuff relating to the topics we discuss a week before, things that we think would be of interest for you guys to see, all in the stories. And basically follow also us on Facebook, where you can also stay up to date and spark the conversation about the things we talk about.
Yes. So, guys, on that note, thank you one last time for your support. We will see you next Saturday, same time. And remember to hit the notification bell so you can rewatch the short clips for those who are watching the live broadcast or the live stream. So you can rewatch your favorite parts of the stream. And of course, we are also experimenting with some shorts, some pretty funny shorts coming out soon. So look out for that. And if you haven't watched our previous shows about the Black Lives Matter, Ime Udoka, and Kanye West, because we went deeper in the initial story, don't forget to check that one out too.
Yes.
On that note, guys, take care. Have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed week. And we will see each other next Saturday. Peace.
Peace.